Yeah,
like that.
yeah, and I feel like that's a perfect segue into
Daddy Mervin.
your theory about yesterday.
It's a Daddy Mervin.
So let's get into the minute.
Did we want to get into the theory before you get into your minute?
You can go ahead with the theory, cause yeah,
Okay.
go ahead with the theory.
So, what's your minute about today, Mervin?
So my babysitting adventure yesterday.
Mervin's babysitting adventure.
Yeah.
Before he gets to his minute, y'all, I just want to say, Mervin posted his Cowboys recap with a baby in his hand. Somebody replied to my story, because I shared it on my story. And the reply said, "Girl, who trusted Mervin with their baby?" Laughing emoji.
Who said that?
Face.
Who said that?
Ladena. Well, anyways, I immediately thought, did Mervin just post this video with his baby?
That's
so
not why I did.
women?
That's not why I did it.
Because you know, some women are attracted to it. Mervin over there holding this baby.
Had I gone to
women.
had I gone to the store or like to the mall or something like that, that's why I would have done that. I would have definitely been using that baby not bait, but I would definitely been using the baby to pull women had I done that. But I didn't.
It is attractive to see a man taking care of a child, taking care of their child.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a baby, for me, that's a little too fresh. You just had that baby.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to be.
Yeah.
We don't need to be talking. You just had that baby.
But okay. However, I'm glad you said that, because I was talking to my mom. Like, I called my mom because the baby wouldn't stop crying, and then I was thinking about like going to the store. She was like, "Don't go to the store. Don't do all that. It's a headache. Just go pick up something to eat and come back home." I was like, you know what? That's probably a good idea, and that's what I did. And also the reason I was holding the baby in the video was because when I put her down, she wouldn't shut up. Like, she was making noise all the time. That was the only way I could get her to be quiet long enough to record a 5-minute video.
Rocking in the video.
I did.
The baby chill. I said, "Oh, look at Daddy Merv."
I did what I had to do.
He birthed the baby himself.
Okay.
Baby.
Anyway, so the reason.
Is the stomach gone?
No. The reason I had a baby in the video yesterday was because for some reason my friends thought it a good idea to entrust me to watch their little not even 6-month-old bundle of joy.
And this is Ish. What's Ish's girl's name?
Veronica.
Ish and Veronica's baby.
Yes, Ish and Veronica's baby, little Logan. So in fact, somebody even asked me on my Instagram. They were like, "You had a kid?" I was like, "No, it's not my kid. It's somebody else's. Thank you." And my dad is a jerk because he screenshotted me on the phone with my mom and sent it to like his brothers and sisters, and they are all like, "Well, he had a kid," all that stuff. I'm like, man, y'all know good and doggone well, if I had a kid, y'all would have known about it.
Your daddy messy.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So yeah, they called me Sunday, right? FaceTime me. I'm like, what the hell? What's going on here? First thing I see is the baby. I'm like, "Well, hello, Logan. How's it going?" And then like they're like, "Hey, all the yada yada yada. Can you watch the baby tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm off. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever, no problem." And then like still got the phone on the baby. I'm like, "Hey, you already said yes. Stop guilt tripping me. I see the baby. Yes, I'll watch her. Okay." So she
Have you ever watched a baby before this moment?
No, this was first time.
And they just dropped the baby off.
Yes, this is first time.
Wow. Okay.
So she gets here about 10 o'clock or so. I was gonna have the video recorded earlier, but I was like, I don't want to start, and then she knocks on my door and all this stuff. So she gets here. It's all good. She gives me the whole play, essentially the play sheet, the whole rundown. Okay, here's formula. Here's water for the formula. All this stuff. Change table, diaper. Had to get a quick lesson on it. Had to get a quick diaper. Never changed diaper. Wow. Had to get a quick lesson on that. I'm sure the diaper that I did change was a little crooked, but it's all good. Because when she pooped later, it did not get on my couch or on her clothes, so I put it on there right. So I had to get the quick rundown on that, and it's like, okay, she left. It's like, all right, here we go. How's it going? You realize real quickly. Babies don't really do much. There's not a lot to do there. Except this one. This little sucker. I have a video, and I'll send it to you personally. She is violent. I've told her mama and her daddy this baby is violent. She hits me in the face. She was laying down on my couch, and like I was laying like perpendicular, and she's kicking me in the legs for 10 minutes straight. I just didn't feel like getting up. I didn't care that much. She started crying. Had to feed her. Which I fed the baby.
Logan is on the right path.
I fed her before, so that was no problem.
Shout out to you, Logan. You know, Uncle Merv is the one.
No, Uncle Mervin's not the one, and she likes to pull beard. Now, I get it. She's just grabbing, being a baby, but she'll pull my beard and get a good hold of it. And it's like, okay, this really blanking hurts. Stop, please. So there's that, and then there was at one point like she was like crying for real, and I like checked the diaper. She wasn't wet. She was good down there. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then luckily her Veronica called me and she was like, have you fed her? And I was like, I fed her like 10. And it was like 1. And I was like, she was like, yeah, she's just hungry. I was like, oh, you have to feed a baby like every 2.5 hours. Okay. Did not realize that was the frequency of feeding babies. Also, if you look at my YouTube, you log on YouTube and it gives you your suggestions. My YouTube suggestions now contain Cocoa Melon, Sesame Street, and some BS I've never heard of called Sensory Bear. Worst stuff ever. But I was like, because it should just happen to call me. I was like, she keep crying or whatever. I need to take a shower real quick. And he was like, yeah, just put on like Sensory Bear, put on the flow, she'll be fine. I was like, Sensory Bear? What the hell is Sensory Bear?
I've never heard of that either.
Yeah. I was like, okay, whatever. That wasn't terrible. The terrible one was I texted one of my friends. And she was like, yeah, put on Cocoa Melon. I was like, okay, fine. I put on Cocoa Melon while I was trying to get some work done. And I was like, this is terrible television. This is absolutely god awful. But it kept her quiet. And that's all I needed for a few minutes was to keep her quiet.
Kids love Cocoa Melon. Yeah, that's one too. Paw Patrol. Mm-hmm. Paw Patrol is one the little boys like. Cam likes Paw Patrol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this was after I had to record the video. Like I said, I tried to put the baby down. She was gonna keep making noise, so I figured I might as well make it cute. I asked permission of the mother first, because I know some people don't like their babies on videos. So I asked permission of the mother first, and then even Ish, and he was like, yeah. They were like, yeah, I don't care. Just make sure she has a bow on, and I don't care. I was like, all right, cool, bet. But the real adventure came after I fed her, and she went to sleep. So we're cool. Then it turned from Cocoa Melon to Bob's Burgers. I said, hey, this baby gonna get some Bob's Burgers in her life today, okay? She had kind of woke up, so I'm like, okay, good. I can put her in her car seat without waking her up. She's already awake. We're good. I wanted to get something to eat for myself because I was hungry. So I'm going to Whataburger, right? I thought I did the right thing here. I placed my order on the app so that I wouldn't have to sit in line, because she don't like being in her car seat in the car and not moving. I found that out firsthand by the fact that my left ear still hurts from a couple months ago. So I'm like, okay, we make this as quick as possible. Order my food, then put her in the car seat, try to figure out that contraption, and then try to figure out how to get her in my car safely, secured, locked in with the loops, with the belts, doing all this yada yada yada, whatever. Right? So okay, that takes about 10 minutes. It says it's gonna be
time, yes.
Yeah, it says my food's gonna be ready 10 minutes from when I ordered it. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna pull up, hit the number. Hey, I'm in spot 3. Somebody gonna be right out with my food in 5 minutes or less, and we're gonna be back to the house. We ain't gonna have no problems. We had a problem, Ashley, because I don't know if it was Whataburger system, but for some reason it didn't show up that I had checked in, and so I'm sitting out there for like 15 minutes before I call and say, hey, I checked in. I've been out here for 15 minutes. Lady comes up. She says, hey, what's the name on the order? Show all that stuff. And she was like, man, it wasn't even showing up. I'm so sorry about that. She threw me a couple cookies in there. I was like, you want some cookies? I was like, it really ain't that big a deal. I understand stuff happens. The problem was, while I was waiting, the baby got antsy. And antsy baby turns into crying baby. And this baby has found out the pacifier does not have to stay in the mouth. If I get the pacifier out, I can keep making noise and somebody's gonna come to my aid and figure out what's going on. So I'm on the phone with my dad, because I was just talking to him. Baby's crying in the back seat. So now I have to unbuckle my seatbelt, get up, put the pacifier in her mouth. My butt is all in the window, because that's just how I had to be. I'm like, okay, baby, Logan, like Logan, okay, I get it. You don't like being here. I'm mad too. Look, we're going to get through this, okay? So I'm trying to figure that out. Finally, again, 20 minutes at this point, finally the lady comes back with my food, and we can get back to the house. Because, of course, once the car starts moving, hey, it's a nice little ride you got back here, huh? We're just chilling. We on the ride. I don't know how long we're going to be in this car. I could have driven her to Galveston and back, and she probably wouldn't have made a noise had she not wet herself. But sitting in the spot at Whataburger, I would have been quicker going through the line. Baby wouldn't have probably said nothing because at least I'd have moved every couple minutes. But sitting there in the car with a baby, bad move. For any prospective or current parents who probably already know this, keep the baby moving because they will not be happy if you don't. But
It depends on the baby.
It does depend on the baby. You're right. But then we got back to the house. You know, I had to figure out, okay, like I had Whataburger and cup in this hand and it's child car seat. And I'm like, okay, I can't leave the baby down at the bottom of the stairs. That's obvious. So I'm like, but then I got it to where I had like everything in this hand and the car seat right here. So I'm walking upstairs, you know, put the baby down, unlock the car, and you know, got back home. She was chilling. I ate my food, watched Little Bob's Burgers, and it was all good and luckily I knew Veronica was on the way, and she was one of the people whose location I could see. I'm like, okay, come on back. We're on the couch, right? I'm done eating, and this is gonna gross my mom out. I'm sorry, but like, I farted, and then I smelled something, and I was like, wait a minute, hold up. I know that ain't me, cause usually it doesn't go from exit to nose that quickly, but I didn't do anything about it. Because I knew Veronica was at my apartments. And I opened the door before she got here. And I was like, your baby just pooped. I know it ain't me. Your baby just pooped. Wow. I got lucky that all I had to change was pee diaper. I did not have to change poopy diaper. And I'm so thankful for it. Because that's disgusting. But other than that, it was all, hey, it was a fun day with little Logan. You know what I'm saying? I watched the little sucker again, you know. It was all good.
Sucker.
Yeah, hey,
I
have called her worse to her parents. Okay, I don't care.
So did they have an emergency? Is that why you were watching the child?
No. So for
you can't tell me the whole story.
Well, yeah, but Ish is in police academy, so obviously he's busy all day, and she works for the state. She works for CPS, so she had visits and stuff to do. And there's usually a list of people before it gets to me. And everybody was busy or out of town. So
well, shout out to you. Your first time ever babysitting.
Yeah,
ever.
and it. Hey, look, the baby was given back to parents as she was given to me. All eyes were in place. She was in one piece. Nothing was out of order. She was fine. So yeah.
So how many hours was she with you?
About 6-7 hours. Wow. She got here about 10 o'clock in the morning and got picked up around 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Had you had a girlfriend like you normally do, y'all could have had a date babysitting.
Hey, but alas, here we are.
But here you are. You have matured as a man in just one day.
Yes, I have.
Congrats, Mervin. Congrats.
Yes, I have. Thank you. Now, I'm still waiting on payment though. I know we ain't signed no contract, but this wasn't free work. Still wasn't no payment.
I knew it was something.
I still waiting no payment.
Okay.
Hey, you can give me a 6-pack or you can give me $10. You pick. But I'm still waiting on payment ish.
It wasn't that the goodness of y'all. The kindness of y'all.
Nah.
That's
I don't
crazy.
do anything for free.
You know, when it comes
except
to
sing
dates,
for Jesus. That's about it.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Well,